guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to the podcast.
What were you saying?
It's the first time you're hearing this.
Good morning,
Unless
everyone.
you're listening to it again. That seems unlikely.
Does this podcast get uploaded in the mornings on Mondays, or is it just any time of the day?
Mornings.
It's the mornings?
It's supposed to be the mornings. Last Monday was a holiday, and so my schedule was very different than normal.
So I got
And
uploaded.
I uploaded it later.
Okay. But good job,
yeah,
man.
generally Monday 9 a.m. is when it's uploaded.
God damn, good job,
So.
Tim. That's awesome.
Thanks.
I never notice. It's just not good of me, but good job, Tim. Thank you for doing that.
Well, anytime.
It's appreciated. Well,
Once a week.
It is once a week. Yeah,
Once a week I'll do
That's
that.
amazing. You know, I forget sometimes that it's amazing how much you do for this podcast, and I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you appreciating me. And I appreciate appreciation. And appreciation.
That's not good. This is for
I
sure.
think it's hot. I think that's really hot. We need to get one of those little, whatever those are called.
From the
We
Cake
figured out-
concert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Hey guys, we went to a Cake concert.
Wait, what about your SIM card?
My SIM card?
No, wait, no.
Wait, what about?
How do we do a
hold on.
podcast real
Wait,
quick?
what were we talking about? So, one thing that I really like about this new setup is obviously I'll have to hear it once I've actually uploaded stuff and whatever, but I think that the sound of me pressing the piano keys is going to be a lot quieter.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's
before my mic was slightly behind the piano. So it was picking that up a lot.
Yeah, that's
Plus, it was on the same, it was on the desk, and when I would press stuff on the desk,
The desk would move.
vibrate a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the mic stand, So this being where it's at now, I think will be a lot better sounding.
But
Because I've got a stand for my keyboard now, and a fucking mic stand.
you do have a mic stand. Before you didn't. Your mic stand is moving around quite a bit. I don't know
It
if
is.
you know.
It's because I'm talking.
Is that what happens?
Yeah,
Oh, I see. You're moving it. Well, you're moving the mic with your. For the, I want everyone to guess what's happening. No one in their right mind would be able to guess what's happening. They could get a little bit of context,
Yeah.
but do the sound again.
Is
you
there,
hear
is there
that?
sound associated with that? I can
hear it
hear
just a little
sound,
bit.
but the sound I'm hearing is mostly my headphones shifting.
Oh, really?
So I don't know what you're hearing.
I'm hearing the mic move a little bit because you're moving your bottom lip. You're moving the mic with your bottom lip.
Yeah. I may need to adjust my levels so that I can be back a little bit from it.
Maybe.
Like you are, so that, because before it didn't matter. It was on a very sturdy thing, but now it's no, it's moving around a lot.
It's moving around. You're not used to the moving.
I'm not going to worry about that right now, though.
Everybody wanted what's going on in it. What were we talking about? Which one should we talk about first? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chronic Podcast, the podcast. Shout out to Jordan Smith for listening to the show.
Thanks for remembering to shout him out.
Shout
out
out
to Jordan Smith for listening to the show. Jordan wanted to let us know that Nightcrawler was who we were thinking of on that. Was that last episode or the
Yeah.
episode before?
Yeah.
Well, one of those we were talking about
I think it was
wishes.
last episode.
We were talking. Yeah, it was last episode. We were talking about wishes, genie wishes, and then we were talking about teleporting and
I can't believe
was
I didn't
thinking of an
think about.
X-Man.
I didn't think about
right?
Nightcrawler.
I feel like
How
an
did I
idiot.
not?
He said it, and I'm like, oh, I'm dumb actually.
I think
But
what was getting me was the fact that I didn't know Nightcrawler had the rule where it could only be a little bit. You know what I mean?
it's not. Yeah, it's not like it's the visual thing. I think
I see.
is
I didn't
he
know
has
that.
to be able to see.
I didn't know that with Nightcrawler. I thought Nightcrawler could just teleport, but also I forgot about Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Nightcrawler.
He was so cool,
right?
He looked cool.
Yeah.
He looked like Beast, but not. Right? Isn't he blue? Nightcrawler was
Yeah,
blue.
yeah.
He looked like
I
a little
think.
monkey.
It's been so long since I've seen or read anything
I don't
X-Men.
know. I'm thinking of one X-Men animated movie I saw when I was a kid, I think.
Oh, yeah?
I was a kid too. I don't really remember that much of it, but I do remember him. I remember thinking Nightcrawler was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that's about it. The fuck else was on our agenda today? Our agenda.
Well, let me So the thing that we were talking about before. So my phone is like not charging, which
Well,
is basically
The same problem that I've been having
same
recently.
problem. So
Gotta love a phone that doesn't want to put its lightning cable.
yeah, it's great. It's awesome. It's awesome. So it was weird too because like for one of the times I tried to charge it, it was acting like, oh, there's maybe something wrong with the charging cable, like there's a short in it, and if you put it in a certain way, maybe it'll work. And I was like, okay, so maybe I just need a new charging cable.
That's what I
'Cause
thought.
That is not the first time that's happened to me at all.
And that's such, and you don't realize how that's the best case scenario.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's like such a nice thing that you don't even know is like nice.
Yeah,
like
until
your phone's not charging, but it's just the cable.
thank
That's
God,
good.
I'll just
Thank
get a new
God, yeah.
cable.
But so like I pulled out one of my other charging cables and tried to plug it in.
Also didn't work.
And I was like, so it's my phone. That's great. But it did eventually like get to a point where it was charging. I initially thought that it was one of those things, like I've heard about people having it where it will refuse to charge past a certain percentage, like I'll get to 85 and then I'm just done. But it turns out that's not what this was, or maybe it was temporarily, but now it's just not wanting to charge at all. So twice now it's gotten to like below 25%, and then magically it's like, oh yeah, I'll charge now because I obviously need it. I think my phone's like, I don't want to die, but I don't feel like charging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I'm almost dead. Well, I'll charge a little bit. So anyway, that's fun. But I have this really shitty phone that was my grandpa's. He didn't really use it much because he wasn't into the whole phone thing. Like, he really wanted one. He was like, oh, I need one of those, right? And then my family was like, well, let's get you this really cheap senior citizen phone because you don't need a good one. And he was like, well, I feel like I need a good one. And they were like, no, you don't. And they got him
What is with that?
I don't know.
What is with that? Just because every other old person wants that phone doesn't mean
I guess.
What's
But-
wrong with him wanting a new phone?
Well, see, but the thing is, like, they were right, though. Because, he got it and then refused to learn how to text.
I see.
Refused to learn how to call
Never mind
people.
your parents. I've
and
taken
then
all of it
stopped
back.
using it. And I'm like, yep. So it's good that we didn't spend, $400 or $500 on a phone for you because you didn't use it.
Yep.
But anyway, so the last time I had a phone that broke, they gave me that one. They were like, well, he hasn't taken it out of this drawer in like 3 years. So here's this. And so I just used it temporarily, but I still had it. So I threw my SIM card in it last night. And what I was getting ready to tell you before we hopped on the podcast is it is so bad that it is incapable of like, so it managed to open Instagram, but it took it almost a full minute
to
open it.
Oh,
right?
no.
And then it can't load videos or anything. The reason I was getting on Instagram
Dude, that's
was
a throwback.
Right? But the reason I was getting on Instagram was because I wanted to check and see if Tia had messaged me in between the
lines,
betwixt the lines. But Tia is in Europe right now, for those of you who don't know.
But she'll be back
and
today?
she'll be back today.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Tia. Welcome back to America in the States.
American. But so we've been messaging on Instagram.
What will you do if Tia shows up? Is like, hey, what's going on, mate?
Hey,
what are you doing?
I would lose it a little bit. I think I would.
You're like, you went to Italy.
I think I would laugh really hard.
I didn't know you went to the UK at all. Oh, no, I just went to Europe. How you doing?
Yeah, that's what Europe.
I want to hear Tia's best British accent.
No, I do too. That'd be really cool. We should get her on the next episode.
I bet she'd do a good British accent.
I'll call her on the next episode and we'll put her up to the
Call
mic.
her on the next
Yeah.
episode.
I can't call her right now. She's in the air.
It makes sense, but
she's in the air.
she might not be here in the house.
No,
the
she'll
next
probably
episode.
be here, but I don't wanna.
She's not allowed in the room.
She's not allowed in here.
We don't have a third mic set up.
I mean, she can be in here. She just can't be
in here.
Yeah. Not during the podcast.
Not during
It's-
the podcast.
During the podcast, she's only allowed to open the door and peek in a little bit and then say some stuff.
We haven't
Right.
had that in a while, I feel like.
Oh, the
Piano.
piano?
Have we not?
I didn't really use it on the last episode. I had it set up, but I didn't
Do
really
we use it
it.
the other past 2 episodes?
But I think the last couple before that, I don't think I used it a lot again. I think I was just like, but now it's like right here.
now it's right there.
Now it's right here. Before I had to like turn weirdly because my mic was to the side of it. But
Yeah.
now my mic is right in front of it.
Now
like,
you
like
can-
I'm a singer.
Yeah, now it looks like you're doing a concert.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm doing a podcast.
you.
Doing a
Concast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Good Morning.
So we went to fucking Cake.
we did go
we
to
saw
Cake.
Cake.
We saw Cake live. You know
Live
the
at-
band, if you don't
at
know
the
the band
place.
Cake, stop now and listen to go to Spotify and listen to every Cake song.
Yeah, listen to every Cake song so you can understand the context of what we're talking
I
about.
guarantee you will come out of it being, oh my god, I feel like I just listened to the same song over and over again.
I guarantee that you'll listen to it and be like, well, that was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah.
It's good. There's nothing wrong with it.
See, that is the most indifferent I have felt walking out of a
concert? Really?
Yeah. I've been to concerts where I've left and been like, that wasn't for me.
I didn't like it.
That
Yeah.
wasn't for me. And I've been to concerts.
Where I
I've been
was
to
like-
a number of concerts where I've been like, "Fuck yeah, dude! I'm
it was
jazzed.
awesome."
This is the shit." And this one, I was just like, "All right, yeah."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very glad to have seen Cake live. That was
Yes.
something I very much wanted to
Me
do.
too.
There were some really cool aspects of seeing them live. Mm-hmm. Like we've talked about it together in the car.
Mm-hmm.
We knew they were going to play all their hits, and that was going to be pretty much all of it. And that's what they did.
That's what they did. And
For the most part.
For the most part.
And so I enjoyed their hits because I like their hits. We both would have liked to have heard some deeper cuts. But-
Sometimes though it doesn't feel like they're deeper cuts. You know, they're
because
really
they're all
not.
the same song.
Yeah.
And everybody knows. Like, I feel like,
If they had played the songs I wanted them to play,
yeah.
I feel like everyone would have been on board.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that pretty much everyone at that concert seemed like they're like, yep, we know all your songs because that's just what Cake. Like, if you like Cake, you probably know all their songs.
Yeah.
They don't have that many, and yeah,
From what I got, it was hard to. This is kind of why I liked Cake at the beginning.
yeah,
Like why I thought they were. One, I thought they were amazing. I thought they were great. They're my favorite band.
Oh, hell yeah.
Still, I would probably say they're my favorite.
and they're still in my top 5.
It gets.
yeah,
Yeah, I also have them in my top 5. It
Yeah.
jumbles around all the time. Whatever
Yeah,
I'm in
of
the mood
course.
for. But they're probably my favorite one because they're the first ones I found like on my own,
That's
just
cool.
listening
That's
to
cool.
music. I was like, who are these guys?
See,
And
that's
then
how I feel about the Deer Hunter. That's
Deer
why they're
Hunter,
in my
yeah.
top because like I just stumbled across them.
stumbled across them. Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was I was trying to get into They Might Be Giants because Gabe from our marching band instructor
Yep.
for band camp was like, for our brass section was like, oh, They Might Be Giants is a good band.
Yeah.
You guys should check them out.
And we thought Gabe was the coolest fucking
Gabe
guy.
was the coolest guy.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Gabe for a second?
Yeah, I had a realization like yesterday. Well, it was actually when we were leaving the concert, I feel like, so it's been a few days ago. But that we are probably the age that Gabe was when we met him.
Really?
Or like around it. We may be a
was
couple
only-
years younger.
Wow.
But like, well, see, okay, so I guess we didn't have him first year of band camp.
no.
So, okay, so he was probably more like 26, 27.
Yeah.
But
that makes
like,
more sense.
We're
Getting
not
close.
far away from his age, and that's weird to me.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Tim. Why would you say that? Oh, my God. That's like...
But we are the age, or just under the age of Peterson when we met him.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's...
which is weird.
Well, I think we're like that age.
We are that age.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So anyway, that made me feel weird.
That is weird.
But yeah, Gabe was cool. Gabe was very cool. He brought Nerf guns to a rehearsal once and just shot us.
No. So I'll help you out with that story. So we were doing brass sectionals, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's the story.
The
Thanks,
same joke
guys.
I tell. No, it's we were doing brass sectionals, and
Yeah.
I remember we weren't doing like specifically well.
Right.
We were like really trying to get this one part down.
Yeah.
That was taking us a while. So, he wasn't like being mean or anything, but he was
No.
being like, all right, guys, let's,
Yeah.
it wasn't like good fun time really.
Right.
And then he was like, all right, I gotta go. I don't remember what he said, but Gabe was like,
I gotta go take care of a thing real quick. I'll be back or
And-
whatever. Rehearse while I'm gone or something.
and by the way, when we
Or
say
did he have us rehearse, or were we just like he was like, here, have a break?
no, he had our friend Carter who played
Right.
French horn. He had him, who was like our brass section leader,
Yeah.
basically, had him lead the sectional
Yeah.
stuff we were doing. And by the way, to explain who Gabe was a little bit, just in case people didn't do band camp or something, or growing up or whatever, he was like this guy who was hired on to help us for like 2 weeks
Yeah.
of this band camp to help specifically with the brass section, who was a friend of our band director,
Yeah.
basically. And so that's who he was. And he was only going to be there for 2 weeks, but
Right.
and then Carter was in high school with us and our brass section leader.
Yeah.
And so Gabe, he leaves to go, and he has Carter, and he's gone for like 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah,
like
like a
kind of,
while.
where is he? And then we're in the middle of playing, and he's slowly, like, and it's a long part too. Like, we're
Yeah.
playing for like 2 minutes straight. And then Gabe walks in with a giant sombrero
Yeah.
and 2 Nerf guns. And he always had these eyes that we'd make fun of too. Like
Right.
he was the kind of guy who just didn't like to shut his eyes.
Yeah.
They were just always like wide open and staring. And so
Like really
like
wide
Stephen
open.
Merchant. I don't know if you've ever seen him, what that guy looks like.
No.
Or Steve.
I don't think so.
Is that not his name? I don't fucking know if I got his name right. But he's like,
I probably wouldn't know him anyway.
he's a British actor. Anyway, Gabe walks in and he's got a sombrero on and 2 Nerf gun like pistols.
Okay.
And we're playing and we can't stop playing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
we're just kind of like confused.
One of the big things about marching band, at least where we did it at our school, is like if you're at attention, you stay at attention. Like
stay-
military rules
Yeah.
with that. Like you can't do anything if you're at attention or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the kind of same rule applies. Like if you're playing, you can't let anything get in the way of you playing. You just keep going.
You keep going. Yep.
And that's just how you do it. You're not allowed to react to stuff. You're not allowed whatever. You just have to play.
That's where some good bits come in.
Yep.
When Gabe shows up in a sombrero and 2 Nerf guns, and he looks me directly in the eyes. I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me directly in the eyes, and he slowly raises his Nerf gun,
Yeah.
and he shoots the Nerf gun, and it goes directly into my neck
Yeah.
as I'm playing, and it makes me go. Like I have to stop
Yeah.
and like cough
Yeah.
for a second because he shot me in the fucking neck
Yep.
with a Nerf gun. And like we just said, we're at attention, we're playing, we can't stop. So
Yeah.
it's just like everyone's confused. I don't remember
Yeah.
if we stopped and kept going or kept going.
I think we kept going. Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
And that's real fun. Gotta be careful around band directors though.
Yeah.
Moving on. Why did we bring that up?
I don't know. Oh, They Might Be Giants.
They Might Be Giants. Thank you. Well, that guy told us about They Might Be Giants, and so I was trying to look up They Might Be Giants on like Pandora because that's what I had. And so I was on the They Might Be Giants Pandora radio, and a Cake song came on, and I was like, oh, they're fucking good. And I just switched to the Cake radio because I like their stuff just a little more than They Might Be Giants. And Yeah, and so that's how I fell in love with Cake. And that's how I discovered them, basically, Pandora.
And then
I was like a freshman in high school.
some amount of time after that, I guess, I don't know if it was one of those where I heard you listening to it or if you told me about it, but you were like, hey, Cake is cool. And then I think what it was I hadn't heard their shit really, and then we were at Goodwill.
Yeah.
And I saw a Cake CD, and I was like, "This looks interesting."
You bought it.
and you said something about like, "Hey, that's this band that I like or whatever." And I bought it, and then have just been like, "Oh shit, this is awesome!"
Shit, it's good music.
That was one of those where I got it and listened to it just nonstop for a while.
My thing was in high school, I didn't know if they were doing a bit. I didn't know if it was a bit.
Yeah,
You know, I didn't, because they sound real silly.
yeah,
And they do silly things, but after growing up, you realize that a lot of their music is about serious stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
yeah.
so other times it's just love.
Right,
It's either love or fuck the government for what it's done to people,
basically.
and the environment is important. You know,
Yeah.
it's no in between either.
Right, not
And-
at all.
And it's also like silly music and like silly things they do. Going, yeah, oh okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
all right,
Uh-huh.
no.
Honestly, one of my favorite one. Okay, so I still love the end of Jolene probably more than anything.
One of the best things.
But early on, before The Distance is one of their more much more popular songs. Like people know that one. But in that one, there's after one of the first verses, he goes, "Yeah!"
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, that's the shit right there. I need that.
Yeah, that's the best thing he says is yeah.
Yeah, every time I have that song on, I have to.
Yeah!
Yeah.
That
So-
was one of the best parts about, I thought, most concerts I've been to, you're singing the lyrics of the song
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
But at the Cake concert, I found everyone was doing, we got to all do the backup vocals part.
Which was
Everyone's
cool. That was really cool.
Doing, hey,
Yeah.
ho,
Yeah.
hey. That is
Man,
really cool.
That was actually really fun. Those parts were the absolute best parts of the concert. I the times when we were all together doing it in the song, and it was just like, man, that's good right there.
Yeah.
I will say that
Those moments were few and far between.
once. Yeah, those moments were few and far between, and they didn't have to be because they have a lot of songs that can work with.
Yes.
Which I'm like, I wish you'd man. I knew they weren't gonna play it, but Comfort Eagle would have been so cool for that shit.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
So
I was thinking about that one too. I was like,
Yeah.
there's so many songs that they could. I think
I will say that that was the best part of Short Skirt Long Jacket. I wanted them to play that. I love that song anyway. But all of the background vocal shit is so much fun in that.
yeah. I didn't realize that too until
Right?
because
Yeah.
I've heard, like I said, I've listened to them since freshman year of high school,
Yeah.
and it's been
Yeah.
a lot. I've heard their popular songs so many times that it sadly has lost a lot of its luster.
Yeah.
But that they really brought me back with that song where I was like, oh yeah, this is a fun song to see in concert.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought because I
Yeah.
heard it so
Right,
many times,
so many
and
times.
it's but no, that's a great one. I don't know if I would have walked away as disappointed that they didn't play a bunch of other songs if it wasn't for their encore.
Their encore, man. Yep.
Which was really confusing, and from the
Okay,
moment.
so
yeah,
before you get into that, I want to say the middle of the concert I enjoyed a lot.
yeah,
And then towards the end of it, I was really into it. The beginning of the concert was kind of rocky.
That's right, we
and
didn't
the
talk
main
about that
reason, the main reason for me, at least, is he did this thing that a lot of singers do in concert, and I totally understand why. You're trying to make it more interesting for yourself, also for the audience. They've heard it the same way a million times.
that's your style, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
But oh man, the first song they played,
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra, yeah, So
A song called Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
They didn't do it,
So it's like,
but they
it's
do
got,
have a cover of a Frank Sinatra song.
they do, but singers will do this thing where they will sing behind the beat and like just not catch up, like because it's like a style thing to sing behind the beat on purpose in like a way that can sound good, but when you're singing every word of the entire song behind the beat of a song that everybody knows all the words to if they're a fan of your group and at this concert and want to sing along with you, it's really annoying because it's like,
Yeah.
I can't sing with you because you're not singing on the beat at all. You're not singing the song quote unquote right, which again, I understand wanting to change it and make changes, but I think there's a way to do that without changing literally the entire song in a way that honestly didn't sound that good to me, and had you and I wondering if he was drunk at first.
Yeah, 'cause he-
discovered that he was not, or didn't appear to be that drunk.
I assume he was not drunk.
Yeah.
After, because he kept doing.
But like, we really thought during that first song, we're like, is he
Okay.
good? That's how it was. So it's like, that's not, if your song, the way you're singing it is making us question if you're sober.
Also, if you can't come out with a beer,
Yeah.
too, in your hand,
Yeah.
I'm always like,
yeah, you know how most singers come out with like water because singing takes a lot of moisture out of your mouth. He came out with a beer. It's like,
Yeah.
all right.
I think it
but-
makes sense though with cake.
Oh yeah,
because you don't have to.
Was totally on board with it. It made sense, but I did think it was very funny.
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, most singers are coming out with a bottle of water, and you have a bottle of beer.
I like that. I pointed out, like, after intermission, he came out with another thing of beer, and I
Yeah.
pointed out to everyone, I was like, he didn't finish the first one.
He didn't.
And then a guy next to me laughed and was like, oh, yeah, I guess you didn't want, guess it was cold or something. Or I don't know what it was, or warm.
Yeah,
I like my beer hot.
I love it hot. I mean, some people, but yeah. So that was the beginning of the concert, and we were like, all right, but it got good. It got
good.
a lot better. But then, yeah, coming to the end of the show, and then the encore.
So basically, well, they also had that tree intermission. They gave
Yeah.
a tree away in intermission and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And also during the middle part of the concert, there was a part. So they said at the beginning, don't take pictures of video of
Yeah.
the band. I guess that's upon their request.
Yeah.
For something, and they there's this guy who was taking pictures and video, and this security officer who has been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
If you catch my
You could-
meaning,
yeah.
you could tell he's been doing it for a long time, and he doesn't take no shit.
Right.
And he comes up and he tells this guy, he's like, get off your phone. You're no video or pictures allowed, during the middle of the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Which,
like, he didn't sound like mean
No, I didn't-
rude about it. He was just like, hey, you can't do that, basically.
yeah. Well, he
Which is-
sounded very stern,
Right.
and like a security
Yeah.
officer who's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And they told us at the beginning, and then it's like that's
Yeah.
any. But I mean, he didn't seem like a bad guy or anything. But anyway, the guy who he told though was not excited.
No.
And
He was pissed.
He was pissed, and
Yeah.
he was right next to me.
Immediately, like, as soon as the security guard turned and walked away, he flipped him off. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
No, not not
like-
only. It wasn't just when he walked away. Like, he was doing it. Like I watched.
Yeah.
He was right next to me. He had scary eyes. I don't know who this guy was.
did.
I don't know why he was at a cake concert.
Yeah, right? It's like most of the people there were reasonably chill, it seemed like.
This guy had scary, I'm gonna kill you eyes.
Yeah.
And then he flips off the security officer, and I look right over, and the security officer's just looking at him, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's got like a stern, like, I'm not mad at you face, just like I've seen it before, I'm doing my job face. That's like,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
he just like nodded. That's all he did. He went,
Yep.
yep, you are flipping me off now.
Like,
Thank you. I just,
great.
and then
So yeah, like after
made me feel real
right at
uncomfortable.
intermission, the security guard came up to the pit area that we were in and like was like, "Hey, just want to tell everybody, just want to remind everybody, like this is not because whatever, but like just per the band's request, like you can't be filming or taking photos, so like please don't do that, everybody."
And so that happened. So I'm saying that because I have a question at the very end of this for that I'm curious about. And so the rest of the concert happens. They're doing fun, weird stuff. I love the part where he has that one instrument, which did we look it up what it's called?
We did, and I don't remember.
But it's like it's a percussive instrument that it sounds like a doorknob.
Yeah.
Or not a doorknob, but a door stopper, essentially.
Right.
Where you just hit this like metal wire thing and it goes
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And he's hitting it and he's holding it and like holding it up to the audience like it's a microphone.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really good.
And he's got this look on his face and he's telling jokes throughout the whole thing
Right.
that are like very, very matter of fact the way he says his jokes about people, and it's funny. And so anyway, concert comes to a close. They do The Distance, which is probably the song you've heard if you've heard Cake before. And they do that song and they walk off, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, typically I haven't been to a lot of concerts, but typically you do the encore thing, right? If you
I
do
think
that.
most of the time that's a thing, yeah.
I don't know if bands do it all the time, if they're going to. But from what I had seen on their set list, they had done an encore every single time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I went to the setlist.com place. And so they take so fucking long with this encore. We were like, I was like worried that people were just going to get up and leave because it kind of looked like house lights were on.
Yeah.
Emma said those weren't the house lights, which they weren't. But they kind of looked on.
No, I agreed with you. I thought they looked like they were.
Everyone was still clapping. It went on for so long that it was getting really like tiring.
Yeah, it was like, you know, probably in reality no more than like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. But most of the stuff I've been to, the encore, like they go off, right? And then there's like maybe 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes.
2 minutes is fine.
And then they come back out and you're like, yep, there they are. But this one, it's like, no, they're gone for a while.
For like
it might have been over 5 minutes. I don't know, but it was.
It felt like it at least. I don't know if it was.
That's just one of those time things where you're like, I don't know. Like,
maybe
I don't know what the reality of time was, but it felt like a long time.
I think it doesn't matter because you got to think of in the perspective of the people who are shouting at the top of their lungs, clapping as hard as they can, and like yelling for you guys to like do an encore, do more songs that we want a chance to sing to, because sometimes it felt like they were doing songs throughout the time where it's like we can't really get into this. There was a few mixed in.
Yep.
Just because they take either time between or the tree part took a while, or I don't know. So they finally come back out after 2 minutes. We're like, oh, thank God. And they're like bowing and stuff. And they do, when they finally play their encore song, they do a song that, I mean, I don't know if people won't know it, but it's like, if you know the band, you would have heard it and been like, what?
Yeah. It's like, we've talked about this. We talked about this after the concert. Both of us like basically all of their songs.
Yeah.
Like, I would be happy to hear any of them just about any time. But that doesn't mean that they are all good encore material.
No,
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. They definitely have some that are better and some that are less interesting, like the one that they played. They like, and I love that song. I've always liked that song. Yeah.
But every time I've heard it, I've just been like, okay, what's the next one? You know?
Yeah.
And they played that, and it's like, when you're a band that has like I feel like an encore song should be it should be something that brings everyone together.
Yeah.
And maybe they view that song like that. Obviously, they view that song like that.
Right.
But I was looking around and everyone was confused. No one was really singing the song either.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was because no one knew it, because it felt like everyone kind of just knew their stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just like...
Yeah, so that was a really weird choice.
And then the second to last one was better, but it wasn't...
The second to last one was a lot better.
It was a lot better, but...
So the first one they played was... What was it called?
Haze of Love.
Haze of Love, you're right, thank you. And it's fine, but it's kind of, it's not one of their more, like, upbeat, fast, or whatever. It's just, it is what it is.
It's too... I felt like they had a lot of songs that were just too, like... I wish I could... They're too mellow. Yeah. And I know they're a mellow band, super mellow. But it's like...
Yeah. Which, again, like
they have plenty of songs that aren't.
It's fine to play mellow songs at a concert. Like, you can do that.
But you gotta space them out and... play them at the right time.
Exactly. And so, Haze of Love was the wrong way to start your encore. And to finish your encore with the second song, they did I Will Survive.
By Gloria Gaynor.
Yeah.
Which is
one
song.
of their well-known cover songs.
Yes.
Like, so it's not crazy that they did that one. That's a song that they've done that a lot of people really like the way they did it. I really like the way they did it. I think that is an awesome cover.
It is awesome.
I love listening to it. But like I said to you after the concert, we both agreed they've also covered War Pigs by Black Sabbath, which is a
fantastic
fucking
song.
cover. Such a good cover.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the song is great. I honestly like their version of it better.
Yeah.
And
we've talked about that.
And so if they had played that, and the way it ends, they instead of doing like the guitar solo, they do it with trumpets, and it's so cool, and it's such a hype thing, and it would make such a good encore. And I know they've done that as an encore for some shows.
I might be the reason you don't look up set lists.
That one,
but also I would have been disappointed.
But that one, I would have been totally on board with. I would have been so hyped if that was the encore. But they did I Will Survive. Good song. They did a good job with it, and I get why they picked it. But it's a cover of it's a fine cover, but it's just a cover. It's not one of their like things, and I wanted that,
Yeah. War Pig. Well, now I was about to say, I do like that cover. I don't like it as much as the War Pigs one, but I do like that cover because
it's
good. The reason why the War Pigs one is so good is because they're doing War Pigs, but they're doing it in their own extremely unique way of making music, and that's why I like it more.
That's what I was gonna say too. It feels like them.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about that one, but that would have been easier to handle if it wasn't that first one that they played. For the Haze of Love.
Yeah, I Will Survive would have been less disappointing if Haze of Love wasn't the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they played that. That was fun. That was good. But I did walk out kind of disappointed about the encore because I was sitting there for so long, and they made us wait for so long just to play that one.
And that probably for both of us made it feel like, I think that I feel like I didn't enjoy the show as much as I did because of the encore. Like, because during the show, I think I was enjoying it a lot more, but it's hard for me to remember that because it ended with me being like, oh.
There were just too many points in it where I was like I didn't want to ask any questions.
Yeah.
When we went to those Guster concerts, I mean, sometimes they'd play one that I was like, interesting choice, but I don't remember like really feeling like, because there was enough to satisfy me.
And I was into it the whole time with all of the Guster stuff, and I can't say the same of the Cake stuff, which really surprised me because like I said, when I listen to Cake, I listen to all like I'll throw on an album and I'll listen to the whole thing, and I usually am singing every song. Like that's what I do.
And that was the disappointing part is for me, I guess, is because I know you could play you have so much in your arsenal that you could have played that I would have, like, I never would have asked those questions.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be, those were the songs that were played. And
which sucks a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing that was like, okay. So we talked about how cool it was, the moments where like the crowd was singing like the background stuff. Mm-hmm. Those moments were awesome. Loved
That was
them.
the best.
However,
Really?
the time, I don't remember which song it was with, but the lead singer stops to like split us up into groups to have the groups do different
That's
parts.
right.
And I'm on board for that, and that's fine. And I think that he did what he did partially as a bit, but like, oh my God, we were singing the same shit over and over for so long.
So long. It
Too
made
long.
it go longer.
Yeah. And then also, like, it wasn't just that we sang the shit over and over for so long. Also, like, the time that he took to split us up into groups and get the groups doing the
He
thing.
was a slow talker.
It was like, honestly, 2 or 3 minutes of a song in the middle of a song that is probably only 2 or 3 minutes anyway.
I'm
you know?
just now thinking it's because they didn't have anything else planned, so
Yeah.
it was buying time.
But so like that was rough. And also it's like it was annoying too because it's like everybody knows this song that's here probably. Maybe somebody doesn't, but pretty much everybody here knows this song really well. Mm-hmm. And these parts are not at all complicated. So you can just be like, you're doing this part, ba-da-da-da-da-da. You're doing this part, ba-da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. And now we're playing. Oh, look at that. Like it would be that easy. And we took 3 minutes to do that, really? Mm-hmm. So that was kind of rough. But all this to say, I don't like complaining about concerts because it's like, I mean, we got to see a live performance of artists that we really like. That's super cool.
And it feels bad to just critique. We're not
feels
critics,
shitty,
but it was. But I did leave there feeling a little disappointed. Is that I guess that's the only way to come about it. Not that I didn't like it, not that I wouldn't have gone or I didn't enjoy my time.
Yeah,
and
like,
I had some of the most fun.
Like knowing how it was gonna go, given the chance to do it again, I'd do it again.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like-
If they came back, that's another question.
The thing that we talked, like, I'm saying, like, so if if I haven't gone to the concert yet, but I knew exactly that was the experience that I was going to have, but I haven't seen Cake at all, I'd still go for sure.
Yeah.
However, now that I've seen them, if they're going to play in Indianapolis again, I don't know if I'm going to go. Indianapolis is far enough that I'm like, eh. Like I said to you that night, if they came to Louisville, which they probably won't, but if they came to Louisville,
that's easy.
I'm there. I'm going because I live here.
Yeah.
But like, if it's going to be like a couple hours drive, that's not worth it to me, I don't think.
Is it anymore? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe given some time away from this, I'll change my perspective on that. But yeah,
after we haven't seen him in a while or something like that. But it's just like.
But see, that's like we saw, and this is the same situation really. But like we went to Nashville and saw Guster, and then like just a few months later, we saw Guster again because they were in Louisville, and
that was so fun.
I mean, they were in Louisville, like we were just saying. If Cake were here, like tomorrow. I would probably go if the tickets were cheap, but like I'm less interested in doing that. You know what I mean?
The difference though between when we went and saw Guster, we saw Guster with the orchestra.
It was two different experiences. This is true.
And so they had a way different set list for both of them.
Yeah.
Because I mean they played a lot of the same songs, but it was different.
Here's the thing, like you may not feel this way, but like if they had played the same songs, like
I wouldn't have cared.
I would have still gone.
I wouldn't have
still
cared.
been there. So
I would have. They were that good that it wouldn't have mattered.
But anyway, that was what we did this week, basically.
But I gave all that info about it because I wanted to ask you a question.
Oh, okay. What's
now
the question?
That the audience knows our full experience, they can answer the question for themselves.
Yeah. You can answer in the little answer.
And I didn't give the other side of this very well. Do you think that they are pretentious? Did you get pretentious I'm in a band vibes from them?
A little bit.
I always struggled.
I feel like I already said this maybe, but I feel like, yes, I did get that vibe, but not any more than I've gotten it with any other band.
Really?
You know what I mean?
I think they blur those lines so interestingly because of jokes in that they were telling, the things they say, the holding the instrument like it's a microphone to everyone.
Yeah.
The slow talking mixed with like all that stuff, and just the sound of their music in general. It makes me want to be like, you know, they're acting pretentious, but they
Yeah.
aren't really. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's like the subject matter of the songs plus the waiting for the encore, and then, you know, the taking so long, and
Right.
that big spiel that we didn't talk about during the tree giveaway, where it was like it felt like it was going on too long.
Yeah.
About
yeah.
why it's important to do it. I thought it was a great message and stuff, but it felt like it was going too heavy. I felt like, I don't know.
I didn't really feel that way about
didn't
it.
feel like
but
it? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can't tell
Yeah.
anymore
Yeah.
from their stuff. I can't. And the way they
Yeah.
explain the songs, sometimes I'd be like, I can't. I mean, so like you said, all bands kind of have that
Right.
feeling of them, which is just normal.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell if it. I can't tell. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's why
I
I want
definitely get that. It does feel kind of, it's like, it might be joke.
So why
it
don't
might
you
be giant.
put in a question and answer? Did our stories make it them feel like they were pretentious or like too up their own ass, or were they just doing are they just having, is that just them? You know what I mean? Which I think at the end of the day, that's kind of how I feel. It's just them. It can feel a little pretentious, but it's just them doing their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I
Like they
land on that
always
too, which
do.
is part of why I'm like, yeah, I'm still like cool with them. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
This didn't make me want to listen to their music any less than I do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas someone like Ben Folds,
Ben Folds is
Ben Folds,
that man is a different story.
I love his music, but every little bit about how he acts makes me less interested in listening to it.
Every time we talk about him, we talk about this in the car.
Yeah.
I think Ben Folds is the line.
Yeah.
He is
Yep.
the line. He is the line. He can't do anything, or he's canceled. He's done. People
Yeah.
are like, "You are too much of a dick." Not less. He is so good at what he does that he's found the peak of narcissistic, up your own ass you can be,
Yeah.
to where people will still listen and respect you and like love your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It really is the line. Because
He is-
you're right.
he's
Like
good.
one step further, and
Because he hasn't done
out.
anything. He's just being.
I'm out.
He's just being kind of like, if we were hanging out, no fucking way
Yeah.
would I hang out with your ass.
Yeah, no way, not at all.
But I'll listen to your shit and cry hard. Wow, that's a lot of music talk we've just been doing. I'm kind of pooped out about it.
Yeah. So, different thing.
What time are we at right now? How long do we talk about that?
We're at 47.
We're at 47. Do you have anything to say to me right now? Oh, we got piano. We should make this a concert review podcast.
Yeah, we should just
Go to concerts.
go to concerts. I guess
I don't know if I
I don't
want to
have
do
the
that.
money to go to a concert every week.
That'd be a good thing to do, but I don't care enough about music even a little bit to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it makes sense to do.
I did all my music shit in high school. You know, I leave it there. We got Ben Folds in the building, everyone.
I'm gonna make up a song right now, guys.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I wanna round stuff together and make it seem
Something.
like I'm really good at what I do, because I'm actually really good at what I do, but it's kind of annoying.
Something about the military.
Oh, the military's stupid.
Well,
So
no,
am
I meant more like the military. I left for the military. It's a story about I left for the military and I died in service. And now there's a young lady who sat at home and she's a brick.
So guys, shit.
That was too much talking.
Yeah, well, it was a lot.
You ever talk
It was
too
a lot.
much?
I'm tired now.
We talked a lot last night. We went to a bar with our friends.
Yeah, we went to a bar with our friends, and I got alcohol.
You got alcohol.
And A burger.
I got the same burger. Good burger.
Good burger.
I got non-alcoholic beer because I don't really drink anymore.
Yeah.
Fun fact, humble brag. Or I try not to.
Fun fetch.
I don't really enjoy being drunk or anything like that. I like camaraderie. I liked going to the bar and stuff, and I wanted to partake, but I just didn't want anything that could make me drunk or an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wanted to so I was trying to look at their non-alcoholic stuff, right? It was basically like all beers, but I was just like, I'm here, I want to partake, so I got one.
Yeah.
And the first thing they say, they're like, that doesn't have any alcohol in it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I know why you're telling me, right? I know why, because it's like, I'm sure that's happened multiple times where someone's come in, they try to get that and they didn't read the non-alcoholic part.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, let me get something else. I'm at a bar. But I was kind of like, yeah, no, that's what I want. And they were kind of like, okay. And I was like, wait.
Yeah, you don't have to do it like that.
I mean, it wasn't, I don't think they meant to, or
right.
I don't think it was like a, okay, weirdo, but it felt like that afterwards. I felt I didn't want to have to. I wish you would have just gave it to me, and then if I didn't notice it didn't have alcohol, you just point it out to me later and be like, you idiot, just read, you fucker. I would have rather had that.
Yeah.
Or I would have rather you did that to other people who were upset for not just fucking reading that.
It is. That's one of those things where I feel like it's a really uncomfortable line to be at. Because if it's like a situation where you yourself feel like you have a problem drinking, like, which I know you don't, but like if you felt like you have a problem drinking, but you or have in the past dealt with that kind of thing, and you're in a good spot now, and you don't want to drink for those reasons or anything like that, and so you are planning to get a non-alcoholic beer. I could see asking that question, feeling like peer pressure, regardless of how it's phrased and done.
It's just
I feel like it could feel like peer pressure.
It's giving you another chance to get a beer,
right? Which, like, that's a there's also you can make points about, like, well, why are you in a bar if you're in a situation where, but like, that's like question. People are constantly asking people to go to bars. That's
why.
That's what friends hang out at bars when they're older. That's what people do a lot.
Or people just hang out. That's where
you shouldn't have to feel like you're being judged. Again, regardless of whether you actually are or not, questions like that can make you feel like you're being judged. And you shouldn't have to feel that way for not wanting to drink at a bar.
So I was like, but other than that, it was fine. I hated that experience. Yeah. And so I got it, and I didn't even know why I fucking got it, because it literally, it's amazing that it just tastes like beer.
Yeah.
That's absolute. I was drinking it. I was like, this is absolutely for people who are struggling alcoholics,
Yeah.
And they just need, like, so they get that. It's like the vaping of smoking cigarettes. I felt like, because it's just like, it's the same thing. It just doesn't have alcohol in it. You know what I mean? To ease off of it.
Right.
And I was drinking. I was like, this is disgusting. Only there's nothing. It's not even doing anything.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot redeeming about a non-alcoholic beer,
except the name.
Yeah, non-alcoholic beer. No, I'm just kidding.
Brewdog Punk AF is what it was called.
That's a good name.
It's a good name. Good name for the podcast.
Yeah. We could change it.
Not the episode title either. Like, you were right. Before, like, Chronic Nonsense is now Brewdog Punk AF. That was fun. At first, they had Oktoberfest in middle of September there, though, and there was polka going on. And at first, I was like, I don't want to go anywhere near live music.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of in the same boat, and normally I wouldn't feel that way, I feel like, but for some reason that day, like, we walked past and I was like, that's not somewhere I want to be right now.
We all just got off work.
Yeah.
We all worked that day, and I think that's for me. If I wasn't prepped for it, I had worked all day, and I was like, nope, I don't want it. I'll do social interaction. I'll hang out with you guys, but I don't want it to be too loud in here.
Right. Yeah. But that's when we were like, oh, well,
They have a back?
yeah, I forgot about the back.
That was the best.
It's really nice back
That
there.
was really awesome.
Really cool. Big fan of that place.
Big fans. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you don't want to check us out anymore, don't check us out anymore. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
ending
if
the
you
show.
want to check us out, then you
I'm
can
not
check us
ending the
out.
show.
Yeah, the show's not over.